So I'd like to talk to you about intuition and its role in problem solving. Intuition is actually tremendously important, and the reason for that is that we don't actually have all that much access to most of our neural capacity. If you think about the way the nervous system is designed, we tend to think that our brain is the thinking organ, but in fact, actually all of our nerves compute, and most of our nervous system is actually outside of our head, right? We have the spine, we have all these peripheral nerves, and they're all computing, they're all working on stuff. So we actually don't have access to quite a lot of our computational ability. Similarly, within the brain, the parts that we can access for a higher order conscious thinking are a relatively small part. So the deck is kind of stacked against you when you're trying to solve a hard problem. You need to get as much intelligence as you can on the problem, and the more of your own intelligence you can use, the better. So how do you do that? Well, it turns out that there is actually a structured technique for harnessing your intuition, and we learn this in science education mostly through the stories. There's a couple of famous stories of scientists who did this. One is the chemist Frederick Kekulé, who was attempting to figure out the structure of benzene. And there's kind of a famous story in which he fell asleep while immersed in the problem. He was thinking about chemical arrangements and possible molecular structures, and he actually fell asleep while thinking about it. Had a dream where molecules were forming these long snake-like chains and whirling around, and then one of the snakes seized on its own tail, and so he woke up realizing that benzene structure was a ring. And so what was happening there is your unconscious mind is working on the problem, working on the problem, working on the problem, and frequently advances your problem solving. So the way to harness it is to do exactly that. What you need to do is load your head up full of information, all the peripheral information about the problem that you can, everything you can think of about it, and then forget it. Just stop thinking about it. So falling asleep is a great way to do that. But also other ways of doing it are like, for example, just going for a walk or doing some physical activity, maybe going to work out. And what happens is while you're doing something else and your conscious mind is distracted, your unconscious mind actually continues to work on the problem. And so you can actually achieve some really significant breakthroughs sometimes. So harnessing intuition is tremendously important in problem solving. And the way to do it is to load yourself up with a problem and then just take a break and go and think about something else, get as distracted as you can, and see if perhaps your brain does a little something with that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like it, and if you found it valuable, please share it with your friends.